Alright, after like almost 2 hours of trying to troubleshoot this stupid fucking microphone here, I wanted to throw my thoughts out on this EDP documentary from Mike Clum because oh my god, it's already got 2.4 million views. I watched it yesterday when it had like 600,000, and like, dude, it's crazy. So, first of all, this guy Mike Clum, great documentary maker. He throws in some things in there that I don't particularly like. Um, but considering he's only ever made two documentaries, and I watched the Boogie one like 2 years ago, I'd need to rewatch it to see where he's come in his documentary making process. Um, but I do actually want to, fucking throw my 2 cents out there for this EDP445 documentary, and a couple things I thought about it. I took notes down. It's not super long, but there are certain things that I didn't particularly like. So let's see here. I get that EDP445 is a person. I get that. He's a human being. He's not a good one though, and I felt like this documentary really tried to almost glorify who EDP was. That's obviously not the purpose of this documentary, but it felt like it tried to kind of show he has a human side to him, and he's not just a filthy creature. Um, and I get that. If EDP would have, you know, gone through the whole cupcake thing, and that was like his one and only time he offended like that, and he's like crying on camera, like, he if he was like truly sorry and regretful and mournful about the fact that, yeah, he is a pedophile allegedly. I don't know if you need to say allegedly anymore because he just outright admits it in this documentary. um but if he was like truly remorseful for that and does, like, go to therapy to try to make it better, then I firmly believe that everyone deserves a second chance. And though I don't like him, I'd still think he's a terrible person. I would give him a second chance and be like, you know what, let him try it. You know, give him that second chance. Everyone deserves one. But and this is how little I actually kept up with it when it was happening. I thought all of it happened at once at basically the same time. I thought it was just one investigation and that was it. No, it was two separate times he got caught um, trying to meet a youngling for not not so pleasant, not so appropriate reasons. I'm trying to be careful what I say because this is fucking going on YouTube, and man, YouTube will smite you down like Zeus if he sees you trying to screw one of his ladies. Um, but throughout this whole documentary, man, except for like except for that one part where he's just like, if God wanted me in prison, I'd be in prison, man. It feels like throughout the whole documentary, he is still lying and choosing his words as carefully as he can. It almost actually sounds like a Chat GPT response when he's talking to Chris Hansen. Let me see if I can't very quickly scroll through here and try and find the Chris Hansen part I would like to have. There we go. Here we go.
The sheriff.
Oh, Chris, me boy, the original.
Why did you show up that day? Why did you go to that location? What did you think was going to happen?
I showed up to that location that day, trying to, obviously meet up with an underage girl. You know what I mean? And I guess you can say, trying to have sex. I don't know. I mean, whatever.
You trying to have sex with a 13-year-old girl?
For the most part, yep. People have a tendency of doing this, I feel like, because they enjoy the innocence and having control of somebody, you know?
Sounds like that's what you wanted to do.
Right.
See, that just kind of feels like almost a chat GBT generated response. Like, it's not, I know I'm talking down here now because I'm trying to read, but it's not like, he just doesn't seem truthful about it.
Nobody your age you could have hung out with.
No.
No women your age you could date. You had to pick on a 13-year-old girl.
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh my God.
That
Dave,
part
it's
seemed
a
genuine.
playful spank. You say,
Like
when I
that
spank you, it's supposed to be
laugh.
sexy, LOL. If anything, I just bend you over and kiss your ass. Yes, well, maybe, but only if you're.
I love how Mark Hansen reads these messages, dude. He just deadpan. Bend over and spank your ass.
What do you think you're trying to do?
Well, it sounds like you're trying to.
See, like, that part seems genuine when he's laughing and
That's
giggling,
what
but
he looks like. I guess that's what it is then. I mean,
and that right, that's not remorseful. He has no remorse for his actions. He's a vile, disgusting creature. Sorry. But it seems like he's proud of his actions too, because he's currently a free man. And like, I tried looking up why this first interaction with this fake 13-year-old. It was because, one, it was a fake child, but you can get around that. But it's because this fake child approached him first, made it inadmissible. And that's okay. I guess that kind of falls under, like, it's a setup. Cops are not allowed to, like, bring you to a dark back alley while dressed up like a drug dealer and then be like, hey, do you want to buy some drugs, and actually hand it to you. Like, that's obviously a setup, and that's been proven to be illegal. So I get it. I get that's why the first case failed. But that should still raise some eyebrows, tickle someone's fancy at the police station that goes, he was willing to do this. We should keep an eye on him. And then it goes to the next one, and I didn't know this how little I kept up with it when it happened. The next one was a girl named Kayla, but she contacted him first this time. That's what the documentary goes over. I made sure to write that down. I don't know if I can find it because I did not write down timestamps, but it's with the Gideon case, right? That's her face. Let's see.
this world is fucked up, man.
What are you gonna do the next time you text a 13-year-old girl or a 14-year-old? It's hard for me to.
June 2023, I received an Instagram DM from EDP4445, otherwise known as Brian. And my name is Kayla Hoskins, and
maybe I got it wrong.
In 2023, I received an Instagram DM from EDP445, otherwise known as Bryant. I first replied to EDP because...
Okay. She received a DM from him, which means he... Yeah, I think I might have said it backwards. Kayla was contacted the first time. That's what my notes say. So the original one failed because they contacted him. This one should succeed because he contacted her. That's correct. And it didn't do a good job of explaining why this case was dropped for the second time, because right there on the screen, boom, boom, that number right there, yeah, that one. It's not 18, as you can clearly see. It's not greater than or equal to 18. And what I could gather from this documentary is this case failed because she didn't want to keep messaging him, but was encouraged to do so by this Gideon person. Kayla decides not to do the sting operation, so Gideon went anyways to confront him. And Kayla states that she felt like a victim of Gideon because she was encouraged to talk to a pedophile. Reasonable. If I was a young female, I would not want to be talking to someone like that. and you know, fucking hindsight's 2020, Mr. Captain Obvious here. She could have done a good thing by getting him out of there. But it probably would have been a messy, complicated case. But it basically just says that, like, she dropped out, she didn't want to do it anymore. And Gideon and the Skeeter fella just kind of went in their stead. Like, they got impatient and went to confront him, and it failed like that. So I still don't really get why that one failed. I mean, he is absolutely guilty of the crimes he committed with her, so I don't truly understand. And if someone smarter than me and more intelligent in the legal side could explain to me why this one failed, because this documentary truly does not explain a good reason why it failed.
Over and over again. The way this investigation, it's not really an investigation, but the way this was conducted makes it unprosecutable. And you've got Skeeter, or Skeet, or whatever his name is, who's clowning around, taking my lines, I suppose, and murdering them with a guy in a cupcake outfit. There's no...
This is probably why it's not acceptable, because it's like a fucking joke. They're not taking it seriously, and
serious attitude here. It's a clown show.
Mr. Hansen absolutely agrees with that. He does not like how they approached him. And that's reasonable. I could absolutely see that as a valid reason as to why it's not applicable. This part, I did not like this part at all. So it pivots to his health, which seems
at a dispensary, and I was starting to, like, you know, spit up black shit.
It pivots to his health, which seems almost like irrelevant to his career and the crimes that he may or may not have committed in that career. All of this is allegedly, by the way. You know, he friggin' admits it himself, and everyone can plainly see that this is the case, but he's not been formally or officially charged, so I can't say with immunity that he is a pedophile, but yeah, it just pivots to him in his health, which seems irrelevant in this case. Like, he's a large, overweight man. He's gonna have health issues. Like, he says his name, 445, came from the fact that he was 445 pounds when he started his YouTube career in fucking high school or something. Brother, 445 pounds is an absurd weight. If I was that big, I would blow my shit smooth off, cartoon silly style. Like, no. I feel like I am incredibly overweight at 200 pounds. And yes, that is overweight for a male my height. That is overweight. The only part of my body that has any fat is my stomach, and I'll admit it's more than I want because I used to be in powerlifting, and I still eat like I'm in powerlifting while not being in powerlifting anymore. So I got some pounds on me. It's mostly muscle, but you know, I got some cellulose tissue, some big old fat. And I am actively working to get rid of it now, but I'm in my late 20s. I know, not beating the unk allegations, but I'm in my late 20s, so, like, I can still do it, but it's harder than it was when I was, like, fucking 16 years old, where I could eat, instead of 10 burgers a day, I could eat 5 and lose 30 pounds in 24 hours, you know? But yeah, you're a big fella. You have not taken care of your body. You have not taken care of your health. You still eat like shit. You know, I used to eat like shit. At least I make sure to drink damn near almost a gallon of water a day, because that's apparently how much water guys need. It's absurd. And I eat relatively good food, high protein foods, almost no sugar. I've almost completely cut out sugar from my diet. I get one sugary snack a day. And even then, I try to, like, only eat half of it, but, so some days that just ain't happening. Crazy tangent. And then the documentary pivots back to him being in psychotherapy for pedophilia. And this is where I was going earlier. If this was a genuine idea, if this idea was genuine or not is not ascertainable in this documentary. I cannot tell if he went because he is remorseful for what he is and wanted to get better, or if he went to just be like, look guys, I'm in psychotherapy, I'm gonna get better, you can stop hounding me and harassing me. It's just, it all seems like an act from him. But his therapist thinks he's honest about it. And, one of my friends is going to school to be a therapist. Like, she's getting her master's in a couple months, I think. She's just about done, and like, dude, it's a great thing to do, and I wanted to study that. I did study that. I've got a minor's in it, basically. But it is just, I'm a lot meaner when it comes to that shit. I'd be like, you piece of shit, you sack of human garbage, how dare you walk into here and expect sympathy? Nah. But let's roll through this, because this has been a long recording all of a sudden. I meant for this to be like a 10-minute recording. It goes on to Jimmy. Jimmy's still EDP's friends and maintains his innocence, and even says he'd let his children be alone with EDP. That's a crazy statement right there.
Been a friend of Bryant's since technically middle school, into high school.
Bros stay together, but
never a dull moment being friends with EDP. There's always some kind of funny shit going on. Meaning just one of the coolest cats I know. I mean, he's never been a pedophile. He doesn't look at children in that way, or young people in that way.
Crazy statement. But to me, regardless of his feelings towards younglings, fresh Padawan recruits, EDP does have bad language around them, and I've got a horrible fucking potty mouth. Oops. And I am around kids throughout most of my day. It happens to be where I work, but I've also worked in a daycare. I have seen every which way form of parenting. I took care of 10 kids a day, every single day. It would only drop down to 5 on the weekends, but yeah. So I understand how to speak around them, and I'm a lot more lax now because I've only got one, which is my girlfriend's kid. So yeah, my potty mouth is bad around her, but this man is out here just speaking heinous in front of like young kids. And I don't even think that's right, and I've got a bad fucking potty mouth around kids. It goes on to state that EDP's sex life is barely existent. As he says, he's been with one woman and has some standards as a parent. Has some standards. He apparently hates gay people. He is not gay at all. It goes. I love that running joke that this whole documentary, EDP is not gay. He's absolutely not gay. He does not like wieners. He is a straight man, straight as straight can be. Too bad his arrow pointed downwards and not upwards. one thing about that is, why didn't he do like what Boogie did? You know, EDP had a shit ton of money when he was super famous. Go hire a lady of the night. If you trying to get your Shemiticus shaboinging that much, and you got that big of an issue where you always trying to smash, and you making hundreds of thousands of dollars, go hire a lady of the night. They don't care how big you are. They don't care how gross you are. You know, if you paying them the right amount of money, they get down there and they do what they got to do to make that bank. And if you're attracted to people with small developing bodies, go find a lady of the night that's like 4'5" or something, you know, and 90 pounds soaking wet. Like, they exist. You can find some small women that are of age. It's not impossible. Guy, especially with all that fucking money, that just blows me away. They would actually go towards a youngling and not an of age woman that is just small. And this motherfucker over here got standards. He's like the bottom of the gene pool, 400 plus pounds, not good looking. In my humble personal opinion, everyone's got their own things. If you think he's good looking, more power to you. That's on you. But for me, I do not think he's good looking. He doesn't like women with kids, brother. Brother, you're in your 40s. Good luck. You gotta settle now, man. At some point in time, EDP actually got a girlfriend named Marissa. She's 42 years old. A little overweight, nothing wrong with that. But apparently the sex was non-existent, and after 1 year, EDP broke up with Marissa and became severely addicted to the corn, and can no longer get an erection unless he is watching that. All the dudes out there, I know you watch porn. I know you watch it. Sorry, YouTube. I know you watch it. Every dude has watched it. Don't get addicted to it. When you're young, you know, watch it. However, get a girlfriend. Stop watching it. Be done with it. Right? It's a dude thing. Every dude's watched it. Every dude will watch it. Once you find a girl and get a girl in your life, stop watching it. There's no point to it. You know, there's just no point. It ruins your mind. It ruins your little fella. It's a terrible thing. Just don't freaking watch it once you have a girlfriend. Love and cherish the women in your life, and you and your member will be quite happy. He broke up with Marissa and is now dating an AI girlfriend, and the role play that they engage in is of younglings, of course. Why would it not be? Come on, man. Have some shame. Have some fucking shame. You stoop into AI. If you gotta do it, you gotta do it. But, like, fucking... at least pull the anime maneuver where they're, like, 10,000 years old and they just look like that. My God. Your brother. The next thing we'll go over real fast is this fecal picture issue. Don't send pictures of your waste product to people. If it's, you know, a once in a generation brown, and your friends, your close friends, or your significant other is okay with that, I don't see why you can't. It's a little weird. I don't see why you can't. You know, fucking send it to your close friends. Don't send it to random people. You know, everyone has dropped the generational brown once in their life, and it's something you gotta be like, yo, where did that come from? That's crazy. The only other time it's reasonably acceptable to show anyone your fecal product is if you're worried about your health and the person you're sending it to just so happens to be able to figure out the health from looking at it. You know, that's something I can do. I can look at waste and be like, hey, you know, something's going on with it. Had to do it for marine biology. The amount of poop that we studied is absurd. Like, oh my god, the amount of poop studied is absurd. It's crazy. It's when you have to very, very carefully dissect shrimp and get their waste product, and then, you know, look at that through a freaking microscope. And yeah, I won't try and lift my microscope up over here. It's kind of heavy and just within arm's reach. But yeah, that you got to do that. You can study crab waste. We studied a lot of crab waste. That's a really interesting one to study, actually. And then, of course, my loving dogs. I've had to study their poop many, many times. So you're a person like me, and you can, if you're a close friend of someone like me, and they're just like, hey, check out my waste and tell me if anything's wrong, I can be like, I bet. Weird, but bet. But you gotta be a close friend. I won't just look at anyone's poop. Moving on, like, there's something mentally wrong with him for that one. Like, he's got an addiction to sending it, and I would not be surprised if he was into, like, fucking diaper play or something. Or maybe, I don't even want to continue that train of thought. Babies, that's where that train of thought was leading. But we'll end it there. EDP argues about the age of consent and says 14 and up is okay. Absolutely not. You know, this isn't freaking the 1300s when the average life expectancy was 20 and it had to be as soon as they were able to produce, they were producing. It's not like that no more. You can have standards, man. You can say 18 and up is okay. I actually personally think like 21 and up is okay. Like, unless you're in that age range of like a 16-year-old and a 16-year-old, that's fine. A 17-year-old and a 17-year-old, that's fine. You know, that's like, that range is okay because people do start developing usually around that age, and they just try to explore and they're stupid. But absolutely under no circumstances should anyone over 18 be messing around with anyone under 18. I think there's Romeo and Juliet laws, but fuck them. I truly don't think anyone above the age of 21 should be messing around with anyone under the age of 21. I would actually prefer, like, if you're over 18, you need to be with people that are like 23. So, fucking, I don't know, 23 is just a more mentally developed person, and they know what they want and what they're looking for. Like, brother, when I was 18, I was dating like a 25-year-old. I'll like them older than me. I do. My girlfriend is 6 years older than me, actually. So yeah, go up. Don't go down. Go up. The biggest thing is that I've seen throughout this video is EDP basically looks like he wants human connection, and he can mold the type of connection he wants with a youngling. He can be like, no, I want you to be like this and like these things. That's what I feel he's coming from. Not even the stupid bullshit control argument that he gave to Chris Hansen. I feel like he does just want a human connection that does also please him sexually. And he can mold that type of connection with a youngling. But if he fucking took care of his health, lost fucking 250 pounds, started eating good, working out, exercising, drinking water, drinking lots and lots of waters, no longer watching the adult content, he could probably turn his life around. He'd be happier physically, he'd be happier mentally. His fella down there would start working properly, most likely. You're almost never too far gone. Like, I can say that. You're almost never too far gone. As long as you have the willpower to change your life, you can change it. And then he could probably find a good-looking woman that is of age, of course, with no kids. You know, possibly. Rare at that age, but possibly. And then it'd be okay. You know, if he did that, maybe even the fucking internet would give him a little bit more leniency, especially if he shows true remorse, because he doesn't. He doesn't show true remorse. But if he fixed his life, showed true remorse, got a woman, not a youngling, a woman, it would be, I feel like people would have a little bit more forgiveness towards him. But he's just in a downward spiral. He just keeps going down, and now he's proud of the fact that he's a degenerate, and it's just like, dude, you can't get much worse than that. Pride is the worst and final sin, like, my brother. And then, of course, at the very end of the video, it was the most incredible cameo I've ever seen in my life.
The man's brain doesn't fully
Was
function. He is, by all definition,
I love how they got Boogie in here too.
retarded.
Well, just my thoughts on EDP4445 and what he did.
They got fucking Christian, literally Jesus Christ. I thought this person was still in jail, so to see them, I was like, what? What? Where did you come from? What? Where have you been? Holy crap. And, like, the first thing I noticed was the fucking Sonichu necklace, and, like, it was just true monkey neuron activation, just, oh. Alright, this video's been too long. Fuck it, send it, peace out. The man's a degenerate. He deserves some hate. He's had his second chance. I have no more forgiveness nor sympathy for him. But I'm just a rando on the internet. Peace out.